President may have actually more political ammunition for building his wall. As we just alluded to, according to Customs and Border Protection, more than 50,000 people were stopped at the Mexican border last month. Those are fresh numbers coming in. So I told you about the tick up in that. That's up 203% from March of last year. We're joined now by the Acting Deputy Commissioner of Customs and Border Protection, Ronald Vitiello, who previously served as head of the Border Patrol. Boy, I tell you, the job just got tougher.
It's always a challenge on the border, but with the right kind of support, with the right kind of resources, we can do a lot better. And you're hearing today what happened yesterday when the president signed the proclamation to give us more capability using DOD, the National Guard resources.
Tell me how it would work, because we saw this under Presidents Obama and Bush. It's expensive to move this into place, but they're doing important things. So how does it work, and when do you think the timing of this would actually come?
So we're going to do it as quickly as we can do it safely. And how it would work is they will give us capability to replace Border Patrol agents who are not doing actual interdictions or enforcement work. The National Guard will step in and take their place, and then those agents will then be redeployed to the front lines to do the best things that they can do as it relates to interdictions and patrolling the border. And I would just say this is a little different than any of the other times that we've done it before. There's a lot of intensity around making sure we can try to trim and ebb the flow of these numbers and put us in a situation where the border is in a much safer condition. And so we're very happy to add this capability as quickly as possible. But there is a process. The Pentagon has to work with the states to get the right kind of resources and the right combination. And then we owe the Pentagon a full and complete list of our requirements.
Yeah, and we're standing by for them to address the nation right now. And they're in a briefing that they've called at the Pentagon on this very issue. So it'll be interesting to get some details from the DOD standpoint. But I want to talk with you about what happens when you see a tick up of north of 200%. What does that look like, and what kind of pressure does it put on your men and women?
It's just an example of where, you know, the President, the Secretary Nielsen, my Commissioner McLean have been trying to let people know that the loopholes that exist in current immigration law and the way we enforce at the border is being hampered. Those people that are coming in as children or coming in as part of family units are really hampering our ability to actually be out on the border, right? Because there's a processing function that has to take place. And since they're not being removed before they get their hearing in court, that means they get to go out into the society, and that encourages others to come. It's a bad thing for them because it's a dangerous journey. It's bad for us because it distracts us from the national security mission, and it's just not good for the whole overall border enforcement regime.
All right, so you led the Border Patrol. You likely have seen this sort of thing before. Immediately, what happens when the National Guard gets there? I've had agents tell me it's an extra set of eyes, but what you're talking about is actually one-on-one match with, hey, pick up something, we got something for you to do.
Right, so we'll give them the duties that are not law enforcement centric, that are not, it doesn't require them to do law enforcement work. We'll give them those essential tasks, and then the agents that are performing those tasks will be redeployed to the border.
No doubt your men and women have an interface with these people coming up from our southern border. So when you see a tick up in one month over last year of north of 200%, what kinds of conversations are they having? What is the magnet that people see? Because we had seen a decrease, particularly with our current president getting tough on this comment or on these positions. And now all of a sudden we're seeing the reverse of that and more people coming. What's the magnet?
A lack of consequence. So if you come as a family or if you come as a young child unaccompanied, then you're essentially you get adjudicated for a removal hearing, but that doesn't happen immediately. And so then you're released into foster care if it's an unaccompanied child, or you're released to your family in the States. If you come as a family, there's not enough detention for families in the United States, and so they end up being released, and that draws people in. Obviously, they're coming from terrible places, but the law doesn't allow for them to come in as refugees or asylees. They're actually coming here for the same reasons other people come. They're coming for economic reasons.
All right.
And there's a lack of consequence for them at the border.
Yeah, real quickly before I let you go, Governor Brown in California has said he might now take a look at this, although, you know, he's had a contentious relationship with the president over sanctuary status of cities in his state. How important is it that everybody along the border get on the same page with National Guard, with this extra help? Because doesn't it create a situation where the people who want to come in know, well, that one's not being watched, I'm going to go down there?
That happens on the border, so we have to do this in a comprehensive way. We'll sort out with the Pentagon their relationship with California as well.
Acting Deputy Commissioner of the Border Patrol, we appreciate your help today and giving us information. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.